Rawa Kundu Jawa Jimba Jotara Kundu Chivu Jawa Nanda Dane Radu Jonga Jawa Kunje Jizo Lobjuru De Zangbo Jawa Yongso Sutin Jawa Jimi Yondava Dadu Manya Jimi Jora Jolai Ketan Ludan Nuji Ketimbo Dada Mi Kenan Da Jawa Kunje Dage Tanje Kedu Dage Judin Dodijin Paro Jinla Razon De Chanjo Zene Nayan Jima Jodiva Deda Mali Yonzo Janga Jo Leta Nyumon Tijele Na Le Dujin Jidin Dowa Nasu Yang Jidra Pema Jime Chapa Jin Yinda Nanga Topa Mitra Je Shinge Jona Jona Jizamba Ngiso Atu Jivara Je Dewa Dala Dowa Kungu Jin Dowa Tamje Lane Pembra Je Chanjo Jowa Yonso Simchen Dagi Judon Tumbra Jo Sambo Jowa Tani Radon Je Mawang Kewa Kundo Jovra Jo Dagi Judan Sombaraka Teta Dani Dadu Jovra Jo Ludan Ada Dani Simji Jan Jova Dada Mulum Chikdu Je Dala Pembra Duver Sambo Jova Radu Dumbana Teta Dayang Dadu Jovra Jo Teta Dagi Naya Yemi Yang Sangye Seji Korbe Ngombo Nangwas Mawang Kewa Kunde Mi Jova Teta Laya Jova Jajin Je Java Nanje Dambe Chunze Je Chanjo Jova Kunde Nawa Je Sambo Jova Nambra Java Yang Mawang Kewa Kunde Jevara Je Sewa Danje Duya Sanai Je Dane Mise Nye Tatan Shira Dinje Nandra Dan Yonten Kunje Mise Zudu Judu Je Dena Dunye Jen Shindiri Sangye Mija Sangye Na Sangye Sije Vana Chopa La Chanjo Jeva Juje Davra Je Tetara Malu Tamje Choso Yang Trasangye Sangye Joso Shinam Jaso Dankewa Jaso Juje Radu Josonje Yala Jaso Dage Je Jawa Kuya Yala Nanda Bandawa Kunje Sambaji Sangye Zonla Dadu Joba Je Dusun Jebe Jawa Tanje Da Kolo Zana Radu Korwa Ye Teta Kya Soya Mise La Loye Daje Daja Radu Jo Mawang Kewa Tanje Joba Keje Jege Dajan Joba Je Kayang Kewa Dusan Sete Da Keje Jeje Jene Joba Dusun Jeba Mi Zingi Kante Da Keje Jela Dage Da Dadu Teta Kene Yuma Jive Nandra Doji Jo Kaya Dusan Dage Chingo Ba Teta Duji Dindong Tetra Male Jana Danje De Jawa Nanje Jina Kola Jo Kaya Majan Jide Tumbe Nan Teta Ramba Sanja Kolo Ko Nyangen Dewa Radoji Gombo Kunji Dundu Dachi Vokune Nyuve Zundru Dana Dan Kone Kwayi Tikpe Dota Dan Konde Yan Gundu Java Jamba Dage Do Gundu Geve Zona Dana Dan Jaba Meva Jurve Je Da Shara Dada Dinti Dada Ge Chanjo Dana Yang Dadu Leje Dana Yonso Daje Je Nyomo Dana Gundu Jambra Je Duje Dana Dame Rabje Je Sambo Jeve Dane Zob Yena Jazo Nambra Daje Je Simje Jazo Dane Nambra Do Shona Jazo Rado Yeshe Jazo Rado Dobra Je Java Jazo Nambra Taji Je Molan Jazo Rado Zobra Je Sangye Jazo Rado Chuje Je Kawa Jazo Mejo Java Kaya Dozon Jebe Java Ye Janjo Jeve Molan Cheta Na Sambo Jeve Janjo Dekun Dake Malu Zobra Je Java Kunje Zuje Doba Kange Mine Kunda Sangye Jakawa Gyo Dida Danje Rado Ngole Danga Dai Jananda Jen Jova Nanda Jena Yonda Danga Zamba Gewa Jen Tenda Daya Deda Zombra Jokone Gewa Zamba Jeve Jen Jambe Jene Molan Jeva Mawa Gewa Gunda Mejova Di Java Malu Zobra Je Jova Dane Seyo Majura Je Yonde Nanjan Sezo Mew Jova Jemi Bala Nene Jante Da Jova Danje Zawa Jo Nange Dado Jova Shizan Ba Sanje Malu Daya Deje Shizan Leda Nyuma Da Jova Dagi Molum Daya Teza Mo Kaya Juju Jena Da Rinje Jende Java Nala Bula Da Mi Devi Jana Jan Shinge Dunye Gawa Bova Ve Kange Ngave Jeva Deda Sanju Jogi Jizu Ramu Jilenje Zaya Deva Jeva Nasana Dambe Jodun De Rangi Sanju Molon Dida Ve Dene Ngezon Danje Bawara Ju Tene Chokwo Ngenpa Bangwa Ye Nawa Dung Deda Niwa Ranyi Deve Zo Meze Dea Deda Lebrabon Kunto Sambo Dea Jindrava Deda Rembo Mato De Ramen Awa Dagi Dipa Nang Gangi Mishe Wangi Chewa Da Te Sangpo Juwa Nijo Na Nyurdo Malo Yongso H.H Dane Soda Zena Da Rita Kato Nanda Demba Jududa Mudi Mambo Dimi Do Jiti Sumbo Kuna Sangye Yawa Jondo Zinyo Do Sone Sunje Pechiri Tendo De Sangye Sangye Kola Rado Go Dunam Deta Chewa Zombo Jive Molan De Chawa Dane Dondon Lana Ya Deye Nambra Mimba Sangye Je Sangye Jola Sonye Jambe Vajra Vajinje Bawa Da Kundo Zambo Deya Dejen De Teta Kunje Jesu Dala Je Kyawa Teta Tanje Rado Ngo Tuson Shebe Kyawa Tanje Je Ngowa Kanla Chodo Ngawa Take Kewe Zawa Ndikun Jang Sangbo Jeje Rado Ngowa Je Dane Shebe Tuje Gyuru Tripa Tanje Dane Jese De Ngozo Nawa Daye De Done Dewa Jinje Shinde Rado Do Teson Nene Mulum Deta Ja Tamje Ma Zanjurwa Jode Da Malu Dagi Yonzo Ganji Den Jese Zinje Bimbra Je Jewe Jingura Sanje Kawa De Pema Tamba Chindu Jewe Ngonzo Do Londe Bayan Dagi De Do Jode Ne Dagi Londe Rado Ne Duwa Mambo Jewa Loye Doji Joje Nazo Ya Zinje Nala Bimba Mambo Je Zambo Jewe Mulum Daba Ye Kyawa Jungse Dagi Jizaba Denen Kewe Zawa Na Geji Jige Tamje Jawara Jo Kaya Sambo Jawa Dingo Be Sona Daye Wandunge Juru Jingwa Na Uba Miwe Nera Dawara Jo Molan Jawa Deta Joge Zo Daye Dawa Kunla Ben Nundengi Zone Na Malu Dombara Jo Kurva Korse Jene Danje De Jula Zova Mado Bardo Nizon Zonda Naya Miji Je Dore Mi Luso Javara Jo Dore Mi Luso Jene Rejo Java Maji De Lumbo Dhamma Bonji Juve Luso Dhamma Keji De Do Chanzo Goma Dan Denda Maye Luso Alhonam La Wanji Dabo Dan Nide Leje Bada Nanjen Baki Go Zanjara Bada Gan Kansa Leje Nazo Dhamma Je Dago Lalo Jivo Yunan Da Lengo Wala Chato Jinan Da Modi Loda Ponje Rena Rini Jimbe Luzo Dhamma Je Janjo Mado Bardo Dabra Da Leje Yala Je Jame Ambo Zanjin Rindo Kurve Ne Damje Jive Luzo Javara Jo Damje Jive Luzo Jine Janshin Rajan Satimen Demba Sela Neje Barje Miva Dan Jima Dadu Chodan Chavara Sho Jima Dadu Chodan Chene Dozan Gonzan Rebe Jujane Namji Joboya Dinji Ziji Samla Wando Ne Kanso Simje Malu Damje Je Donda Ban Dagi Jovra Jo Jewa Didan Zera Damje Du Kunjo Sumda Naya Mede Jujire Zala Bamba Miva Ye Nindu Jembo Jodon Jevra Dane Dadu Denjira Jodu Jin Dubdin Korsho Lasum Jinji Dizi Dundi Dokun Siz Tene Dzogbe Sangye Tawra Jo Lune Ngurme Sumje Jinsang Yen Ane Denu Sumje Jo Janjo Zinye Dewa Ye Donda Shakya Chenpo Wando Jo Shidra Jo Suman Jawa Seje Warda Kose Zeda Jingan Dan Toje Molan Zeda Jindra Ba Tendra Kwana Daso Jova Jo Dage Lasan Molam Jeda Tene Simje Kunje Dojuro Jeda Yen Jiji wa suna doyen do sanje jo damba jizu rumbu jen zawa da jura jeve bandela tamba nanda yidam je la zo choju na yube sanje da chanju senpa bao da bamu nenjara kanju zo damje dala gongzu zo daja ge gewe zawa jachen bondi tula dende lunga yisum je simje tamje la pento bara gyur je dage Bandoja Jedan Demo Ngaje Tradoge Zamba Minjung Wa Gyuruji Daba Dan Nyimba Niba Dan Gurde Zende Zamba Geje Zanya Minjung Wa Gyuruji Chamba Dan Nyingji Changjugi Simge Dagi Gyu Lene Yongsen Zimbe Gewe Yin Nanga Dan Nyamba Jidu Gyurde Zende Nila Chagya Okay, Mujuba Dovara Juraje, Da Nam Chive, Duje Sanai, Nejuji Dungi, Minjong Vara Jurje, Shingen de Chewa Majura, Dawa Loba Chewa Majuraje, Tumayin Ba Chewa Majura, Chewa La Gawa Danje, Drova Danje, Simni Shindu Sewa Danje, Chunyi Jindu Dangwa Danje, Chikara Pardo, Chochagya Jembo, Cho Muju Do Baraju.
Hello, hello, hello. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Jamgayi Nuru Lajango Tane, Samalola to Dele Shuta, Tandan Dine, Mandate and some Dimbushunke, and Lumen Sopa Jake, it's Sawan Lache, and the Sopon Soba. Nanchin Yangao, Gonda Nanchin Yangaresha, Lumen Soba Kasan de Sasha, Nanchin Yangan Zobata, then Sawan La, and then Sopo Sopa Jake, Namazovia, Mandate and some Dimbusha. Kodinano na tuche.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Rola Benjre Sangye Robara Yo Sangye Jodaya Zoje Jonaya Janjo Bardo Dane Jazo Dagi Jinzo Jibe Zona Rola Ben Gendo Varajo Sangye Jodo Zoje Jonaya Janjo Bardo Dane Jazo Dagi Jinzo Jibe Dola Benjre Sangye Dobajo Mananga Danyambe Semje Dan Deva Dan Deve Judan Dembra Jurje Dongan Dan Dongan Ge Judan Deva Jurje Dongan Miben Deva Dan Medeva Jurje Nyer Nidan Deve Danyala Neva Jurje Mananga Danyambe Semje Dan Deva Dan Deve Judan Dembra Jurje Dongan Dan Dongan Judan Deva Jurje Dongan Mibe Deva Dame Deva Jurje Nyere Nidan Deve Danyala Neva Jurje Mananga Danyambe Simje Dan Deva Dan Deve Judan Dembra Jurje Dunga Nge Judan Deva Jurje Dunga Mebe Deva Dan Me Deva Jurje Nyere Jad Nyom La Neva Jurje Tabge Doje Jaje Rezo Shanje Me Do Duje Bonjo Ba Serje Lom Jive Gu Jaje Jevo Jula Jaze Lo Kange Dambro Janjo Doje Ne Zona Yeshe Zonye Zonze Dendren Jeva Jajin Dova Yen Gonjure Jula Dagi Dobra Lana Dunzen Deve Dujen Lale Bamne Lanjen Dorje Realizing Lama Jud Lonzo Joba and La Jaze Dawa Juzo Jaje Sebo Daje Lumbe Tedu Dambe Zandan Jaje Jidu Tenjo Ne Janjo Rezu Ngenze Chaze Shena Dande Meye Senge De Anga Manga Dane Jeze Devo Deva Jena Sarje Denda mi ban ze la ja ze je de jo da dum bara ja wa Rana ma do ban zre zo ma ye kwar da den ze ge wa ye je ze jo wa ze la ja ze Parve Java Nyingpo Mize Ne Jimne Junde Kala Jine Jode Nanda Dunde Nila Nye Rabdu Jungwan Zela Jaze Zambe Janju Dubra Kone Nara Janin Ramdu Lodu Du Gawa Jinze Zundu Darje Sande Junyin Zela Jaze Lo Toma Me Wado Yaje Manga Daye Janju Jindro Jedro Me Yo Ngambara Sangye Janju Doban Zela Jazel Dojin Dola Nyudu Zinen Wara Nazil Lazo Nejoy Jeje Kolo Gone Dujan Teba Zunla Gonze Jazel Shenje Kowa Ngimba Tarje Mode Domba Joda Leje Koma Jige Yudu Dunan Dova Yule Jela Chaze Ziva Sona Bime Yonde Nyendo Yawa Judu Chenpo Lamien Jowa Kunje Rabjava Demba Jeva Zela Chaze Lelo Jena Nyurdu Guje Zajo Jundu Zai Jeme Dorje Davu Guje Nyangen Dava Zela Chaze Yanda Nidun Jeba Mijre Da Mawan Zenje Zonon Doje Tenye Dune Rinze Mandone Godon Jelo Jaze Loe Kanze Kanye Zobo Judan Zajen De La Komba Dumbran Ngane Jeden De Na Joje Deze Gewa Jola Jaze Tambo Gandhi Lai Yune Jan Jevo Kazu Yomje Lumso Lumbi Niye Sedu Dova Dan Jomden Lai La Ye Gandu Mama Jeje Jo Jaje Rundu Junu Rozin Zeje Nezu Zazu Kabdu Je Sezu Zomi Kula Jaze Ronjire Goji Jove Zuden Juden Namda Rundu Buddha Nara Janin Rundu Kadu Tenye Jondan Dela Jaze Jewo Kadu Lanjin Yomba Yamba Jindu Jibu Janze Manga Daru Duba Ngosa Kembe Yeje Bala Jaze Wara Nasri Chuji Kolo Zede Zedu Chuju Jimbo Sajo Jundu Gomba Nyange Tane Nanga Dala Jaze Dedara Dembe Dabo Jumde Zeve Dulan Dozan Doba Geve Dowa Kunji Deje Jujin Zedan Zumbara Deje Jeba Jigu Jindra Korda Gozi Zedan Shingan Jeju Zenjo Zambu Jindra Dendra Guanan Daso Jurva Jala Dujin Soba Tabe Daso Gandu Neve Soju Nedon Bun Dasu Jiva Jodan Daji Bevaran Zedu Domban Jidin Kamso Chong Demba Niwu Jindu Sewa Denze Bunu Shedru Jejuru Demba Yurin Neven Draji Om Bendra Sadosam La Suja Hola Baba Zobo Kaya Me Baba Zobo Kaya Me Baba Anurada Me Sarva Zedi Me Brayaza Sarva Karma Suza Me Zedan Shriya Guru Banga Ben Sarva Tata Gata Benza Mame Benzre Ba Ma Do Chadon Gol Gurbe Jevo Jendon Kewa Sambo Sangye Don Kanla Kandu De La De Anjere Zela Jovambu Domba Lame Sangye Rambo Tamjo Rambo Demba Lame Gendu Rambo Jane Kunjo Son Jovambu
Tangi compte que ti che je la tanda mendijange renashiri Chicago renashiri choto tene du kon nyando je ke tare na no chi sya yin je Nyondro Dame Nyenda Dame Nyenge Da Rinpoche Revo Bazanje Shen Dunje Ye Ba Mamo Baye Lodo Kolo Rinpoche Nurbo Rinpoche Zomo Rinpoche Bo Rinpoche Lambo Rinpoche Dajo Rinpoche Mabo Rinpoche Dembaye Bumba Giba Ma Denwa Ma Luma Rama Medo Ma Dobo Ma
Dorsem Nagmo Nyingpo Dawa Rinpoche Dudjom Dharma Sangye Umbuzun Zoba Mazan Wa Mewa Jinwa Nambara Daba Din Puja Yeshe Ngaye Danye Zome Bantela Damba Tongje Le Du Tsene Bon Jangwa Dorje Chan Chenpo Guncho Dinze Gunsa Nyondro be Zambo Chenga Ne Tekpa Chenpo Kaju Samu Shuve Yondo Bobara Jewo Dojendro Dondo Yesu Ne Jenjela Zajibo Guru Nama Yandala Neyadaya
탑게 도시 야게에서 생계면도 되게 공죠. 서기름보 답을 제외하고 샤게 개부 샤블라 쿠차 다리 디 공죽 디 녀유 공죽 지단 디 공죽 그런다 용스타바 디스기단 욱욱진 템벤도 시기도가 욱야마다야 욱진기 템벤도 디고르 간주나라 민요지 슝도 이내야 예슈디 녀유라 남bre 녀유디 상게 쿼드지브 슝내 조더와 양내 지불로 로니 슈장아 슈브레 디 조디 슈사 조디 디인도 대야드네 욱무빙도 예슈 남bre 디 자와로 시세제 되네 디다 링시다 죽다 마구도 슈모가체 아니 닝돈 마 주야이
Today, the topic of what will be taught is the Sharavasti meditation, and this is really based on the sutras that primarily consist of the meditations for using the breath as an object, the inhalation and the exhalation. And there are a number of sutras that go into this, found in the Kangyur. But primarily, it is the Anapanasati Sutta or the sutra on mindfulness of the breath. And so this is what the Buddha primarily practiced, especially during the rains retreats at Sharavasti, which is why this name has been given to this practice. And every summer rains retreats for 25 years of the Buddha's life, this is mainly what was practiced, this practice of watching or observing the in-breath and the out-breath as the object of meditation. And so there's quite an extensive description of how this is done, how this is practiced, but His Holiness will give us today just a basic overview on the most basic points of this practice.
다디 욱진기 냠네 토마 고즈에 상게 샤게 두베기 아니 루두까지 남베가는 고수나도와 디고디 두와 뼈 당보나라 쇼르 숨스탐베 인단 당보다 강게체 좀 된데 전주스템 보고는 이슈자구바 시장 데바탈라 마르데 겜보타 나와다 시와스바 툭충네 Semo Namchi now sing Lotu to Kawa Jete. Kawa Cheba Jia, Meber sing Jider Umubanze, Jider Jimbanzing, Jechenda, send her last of by Shese Chembutaja Serbanzes. So what did you? The Luigi Kawa Manguchayati, Lubugrova, the Sangye Korang, then Sangye, then but Sayadi, Tanda Mani, and it's all that then but on the same now the Sevu or Yamne, the Gomgi, Lubugi took that I at the Mayimba, and the same number shat. And Toma Namdo Mangu, you do Namdo the Ukpada, Chuda, Dijigo, the Shani, and Namdo the Maja Chuche, and Ding Ring Bugitane, then bet on the number shat, Sangye, or the Gozuya did in the Zunando.
And so there is the description of how the Lord Buddha came upon or began to practice using primarily the breath as the object of meditation. There's a description found in the Vinaya Satu Sutra, which describes how when he was around 29 years old, he left his life of leisure and fortune or luxury and took up the path of a wandering ascetic. And so he practiced for 6 years the ascetic practices of self-mortification, and then came to find that this was not the most productive means to discovering, or seeking the ultimate truth, or realizing the ultimate truth. And so then he gave up the ascetic practices and instead sought more the practice of the middle way. And as he did so, he mainly focused on turning the mind inward and watching the inhalation and the exhalation over a long period of time, settling the mind and pacifying the the proliferation of discursive thoughts, and it was for this mainly then that he practiced.
Sangye, that Sangye, Tamgu, Galonam, the Yaga, Dawsum getting Lea, that Chashuka, some Jempus in Mongolia, and do a bunch, Yamne, Shuya, Yala, Nen, should you? Or Digabla, Yamne Yang, Mumjing, Dotty Yamle Nagiyova, Gordi, Duva Puti Nivenala, in this setup. Tine Jumden Degi, Galonam la Gazeba, Galonta, Kill Keti, Mudikba, Genta, Gundukunam, Neverhan, Digmagic Tide, Gajon Kodama never catching the Osumbu Dinala, Nando Yanda by Shabar Kurji Tina, Digagi Tiba and Dishi Jurchao. Teji Shana, Galonta, and the Osumbu Ted Dilla, Ungubana, Ungjimber, Temple, Neb and Nando Yanta by Sha, she, that's of a soldier. Candada, Chiru Hindu, Chulu Lasso, Kodam and Dawsum, Nala. Yanne Zude Karshigiones, Tisona, then Kodam Dawson Budina, then Upada, Injing, Tonet, and Yamshashi, Gom Yamnagos, Lapshos, or the Sundu, then the Yamneg Nala, the Kabla, and Yang so did Nagio.
And then it was also what was practiced primarily once the Buddha had attained enlightenment, and with his followers, his gathering of monastics, they would every year, during the summer months, the 3 months of the summer, they would stay at Sharavasti and practice meditation during the rains retreats. And so in another sutra, it is said that the Buddha told the monks, if you meet Tirthakas or non-Buddhist practitioners who ask what is it that the Buddha is doing, for 3 months every year in retreat, then you should tell them that I am mindfully observing the inhalation and the exhalation of the breath. And so this was what was also the main practice for those 25 years of practicing during the rains retreats.
Vipassana di su tungyuru chebe kala tene pije 학동 잡지 세계 요사래 이난 디고 다 vipassana 수주 디 단 상매 캐서의 망고지 등산 잡을링 페이지 통기 패체나라 근데 검자서 도와 가사카는도 디 때네 바르마를 통해 야가게 미리기 임바 되는 송바 고인가 승예디 베니 되는 용스타고 중도가 다 돼서 줄리미도 거기 이제 낭배 임바 마송버체 아니 제다 철로코라라 참바샤 조체제 셈냥바샤 셰셰되는 어딘데지 체제되는 줄담만다 강가로 근데 검도 쉬고 요사래.
And so this has evolved into, the present day kind of popular practice that is connected with this is what actually has come to be termed as Vipassana. So Vipassana, which actually traditionally means insight, is actually closer, is actually more this practice of the connected with the four foundation of mindfulness. And so it is spread throughout the world and become very popular. And there are many places of meditation, and there's particularly the Indian teacher known as Goenka, who actually studied in Burma. He practiced in Burma and became familiar with these practices. And then he himself, not really aligning himself specifically with the Buddhist tradition, turned it into a little bit more of a secular practice or a non-sectarian practice. And that it is largely through his influence that it is spread throughout the world, and people have become very familiar with this. And in the methods that he has taught, primarily, it is the practice of mindfulness of feeling, or Vedana, that is within the four foundations of mindfulness. And so now, it is, there are many different religions that also have taken up this practice, but it is actually originally what comes from the Buddha.
ugumjin jis temben doam yana vipassana singen di kondo sheba na shi den sangye sheshu be gala lu kawa jetune dinen gozukne an dine ani hakbar du gebo ashuke gi thurap dene jilungongi lo thurap sunbe nala gyagar geyong la ba gyachembuji halebji kyapje chung ani digabla ani gyagarla dajomba sona singe dida utara singe nigi dene barme yula peche ani mera mangbuji barme yuna ya thadyeshi inde chungdu de digabla thurap jugjigbe kabdawala ani gyagarla da turugas chejetene taki da dindre taksigiwa 완전 표현 루기나 전에 처음 개설 개불 저기 규바로 렌도 저 직바 저기 때문에 낭배 취지가 살았단 말아 나렌다도 저번 비가마시 솔라칸도 다 솔라칸 강가 매버서제 어디데 취지 다 디가는 낭배 취루 메디테 페지디 칼리칼리 냠수도 냠버레데 이네 발멘나도 때 갸첨부지 페이지.
And so this practice, which is now often referred to as Vipassana, but really comes primarily from what is described in the Anapanasati Sutta, or the Sutra on Mindfulness of the Breath, has, it originated primarily with the Buddha, just following that time where he spent 6 years engaging in these harsh ascetic practices. And then during the reign of King Ashoka, it really spread throughout India and became widely established around the 3rd century. And it was at this time that two arhats, Sona and Uttara, brought these practices to the regions of Burma. And then it became widely practiced and established in Burma and continued to be practiced for many generations. And at that time in India, it was also it was widely flourishing until maybe around the 11th century or so, but then there was the decline of Buddhism in India through, there was warfare and so forth. The major monastic universities were destroyed, such as Nalanda and Vikramashila. And so little by little, this declined in India itself, but it was still thriving for many generations in Burma.
Tsok Chenpo yesare, imaji deko Gala neji po yesare, Gala nasaji po di tene kongi chokpo di, dakina di gom yasaji china pingiri na yesare, nima kashi chin yesare de ke pen yesamare, dangan dugu mes, mara mara dakina nima kashi duru che das, dinde chene de kon nasa di be chaki yago shung yesare, di indu tene kon di la be yang 냠네 슉첨부 지세는 때는 배 개발을 보지 약쇼로 차 되는 공개 라마디 레디 사야도 시기도가 다디주다 디 바르만한테 깨다 치슈들서 냐다 치슈 어디 공기 다큐 디 냠네 배 야고 중샤 다디 갸갈 파 빼고 가마 갸갈 충분해스 엔 지금 국제 주주 레구로라 공 갸갈 파 빼네 에는 디비 파사달 빼네 갸가나 탐보 빼 엔티네 림바신주 다 룽바망고 지르페다 대산 자물링 참말로야 아니 캡체데네 용자로 다 비파사나 루스차로바 에는 콩 망체로 다 캡르브체 데스코랑디 비파사나디 소바 템바 조 인사레 조디 다 숙시슈 소바 템바 냠바샤 소와 류 소와 티도 티도 카리나 디도 디토다 아니 욱데나 데제 소와 템바샤 조 인사데 아니 몽구지 근데 다 소 이제 존예 이제 세긴도 디인디 다 나다 카셰디 비파사나 신 텔라데 소네 데기 주스 말다 마 심템바냐와 샤반나 마 아니 쳬 템바냐와 샤 도바리 나데네 디 비파사나 샤나 디고 인 소와 갈라 디 마니바데라 당고도 류 템바냐와 샤와 소와 템바냐와 샤와 소와 템바 니바스 디라 페지 비파사나 디 삭도데 레투유서 말에 신내 잠보바마도 신내 의시데 레투유서 말에 디인디 다 콩 태완의 직 피디 현달다디 소화지구로 봐 있는 태완의 직 피디 참바이 예샤 시자로 치브레스 태완기 양낭별 루기우디나 토나 레친도 태완 참바이 예와시고 시창말로 디징 남버스 고엔카 예 현달디 요 말와 소화지구로 봐 망체
And so then it was in the 20th century that Goenka sort of revived this practice in India because at the time he was living in Burma. And he had an illness. He became sick and had sort of really bad migraines or headaches that were really problematic for him. And so he had a friend that suggested that he go to one of the local monasteries with the a really great master who was there in Burma at the time and practice with him, and that meditation could potentially really help with his migraines. And so he went in for a short period, a day or something, and found that it wasn't helpful. And so he decided, oh, maybe this doesn't work. But then with the encouragement of his friend, he decided he should give it more time. So then he spent more days practicing and actually completely recovered. So his migraines went away, and he really became convinced of the power of the practice. And of all of the students who were meditating there at the time, he became one of the best. And so his teacher, the famous Lady Sayadaw, who was also very famous at the time, he suggested that Goenka return to India and teach these practices there. So in 1969, he returned to India and he began teaching Vipassana, or what he termed Vipassana. And then this really spread and took hold mainly throughout the world, through other places throughout the world. And now it's very, very popular. But what they mainly focus on in the Goenka tradition is mindfulness of sensation or mindfulness of feeling. Even though it's termed Vipassana, it's mainly the mindfulness of feeling in connection with the breath. So in these practices of using the breath as the object of meditation, this goes through in progressive stages the 4 foundations of mindfulness. And so actually Vipassana is a much later practice, a more advanced practice that comes with mindfulness of mind and mindfulness of phenomena. So actually the way that they practice in the Goenka tradition is like the second level. So first there's mindfulness of body and then mindfulness of sensation. So it's in the category or at the level of mindfulness of sensation, which is still calm abiding. It's not yet Vipassana. So it's actually not a level yet even of calm abiding, which is one of the more advanced levels, for instance, where powers of clairvoyance develop and so forth. So it's one of the not quite the most... Oh, sorry, not, so that was not clairvoyance, but actually it's not even the actual practice of a kind of shamatha or calm abiding, the real main practice. It's like one of the preliminary practices to the actual practice of calm abiding. And then Vipassana comes later with mindfulness of mind and mindfulness of phenomena. And so Goenka, mainly focusing on the sensation, is what has really become popularized. However, when he taught, or when in Taiwan, then he taught the whole system of the 4 foundations of mindfulness using the breath.
Tene pyoge soa rigba ki nalo ne ngashu kung tuksa ra wachi tene mebu she lung singes towa wo di na de sondo lung la wan gyurbe yena sem la rawan thogres ta sem gi namdo de rawan thogre na nyen lung la rawan thogres kisa di ke chenpo shi tadung mu ti je kharso no ene lung de legi lung da yishi gi lung ni yawa chen legi lung de rogyang ge lamne nago ta du gyube uti ni des yishi gi lung ni ukta drone gyube lung gi tangma di yishi gi lung des ta di hiuda mangu ji yo de ine ji da Manas Namju Utaya Rogans do Yene Gua Nazo Dina Za Romasigorva, and Dina Yelio, the Yangmasigor, Roganina to Utangorva. That Namdo Mangu, you know, dead Ben Ungangaru Yungorva. That Lung de la de Ma Lung de Ma Jan and Ma Jan de Vacana and Shine, but Dambo Yago Shungsona, Nzu de Pa Chung Chung change. Yeshe Lung the top gear you do. Yeshe Lung the Tetsa women and ya Dayon said. And they were the Sangye, that the Nanga Lunginala, Lungsimna in the Sungyo. The Indujitan had a lung the Mangishunana and Yeshe Lung the Drone give a lungi Tamasun said. The two gorgi Zijigana did one around. Nisha took Jilla, so long Guyadi. Nisha took it, choosing Yusapina. Lung need to check on Google others. The sea can be cartage second sum Ugyata, Mada, and this is the needy check on. choosing Yusapina Jukoris. Dina the lung the J or is Songdoa. Yeshe Lung did Nabu Dina dear. His a yorsana needed check on to Genala to get into Tonga. To get into Tonga Yeshe Lung the Orva. Or that sometimes you lose some chosen the Lung needed check on to get Yeshe Lung to Yangsi. And that in this, that was your decision. That's all the Lung the Yeshe Lung Gurgu, at the Guja.
So in some of the kind of original literature on the
또 되네 다 년도기 되네 바마기 디 팅맹기 최지레스 망쳤던 대로 무슨시 티야된 또 한번 여셔봐 시체지 티나기도 와 티나기 요래 이내양디 야버스타베는 디 냠nen 디 티버 투문 티버 첨부 되네 티버 중 티버 첨부 상아도지 티버 투문이 냠네지 나래야 아니 누구요레스.
And so, in particular, this practice of using the breath as the object of meditation, or the four foundations of mindfulness, are something that is, through kind of the way that has been traditionally taught, for instance, at Varanasi and so forth. Then it is come to be thought of as primarily a practice of Shravakas, or something that is practiced by in like the lesser vehicle or Hinayana practices. But actually, this is a practice of the common vehicle, meaning that it is important to all levels of practice, to all of the three vehicles: the lesser vehicle, greater vehicle, and Vajrayana.
Pena nyendu debagi nyamne tarna tene lu temban yewer shaba digi tene lu mizawe ze sotula sobodone lu ren sinja bawada sowa temban yewer shaba di gegana shi dungye shene khowa de ninjung kiwa semtin yewer shaba di khowe chene midabal shene tedalan sinja bawa shu temban yewer shaba dami don khowe zawa juba chela soba tene donna mizawa la zawan zimba dungye le dewan zimba midabal dawan zimba dami la dadun zimba chinji lo shi bawa 다와시 렌도버 쳐봐 나 티브 중앙이 없는다나 잡아녀와 샤바시 되게 이거요.
And so in the common vehicle, it is practiced in such a way that, or in connection in particular with the Shravaka or Hinayana practice, it is through the mindfulness of the body that the 36 impure substances of the body are understood, through mindfulness of sensation or feeling that birth, old age, sickness, and death is understood, through mindfulness of mind, impermanence is realized, and through mindfulness of phenomena, non-self is realized or understood. And so then this reverses the four worldly errors, which is taking what is impure to be pure, taking what is impermanent to be permanent, taking what is suffering to be happiness, and taking what is the nature of non-self to have a self.
저번 이와샤오디 되는 티바 첨부 냠내다 자르비나 파바께와 상분도래 욱급진 건배 낭 퍼진 투기 냠내 사와이소 맨날 룰 미도바 건배 단 진짜가 가이 바테네 진짜 매시브 가이 바테네 진바이 텔라 똑바 미다와 다텔라 메잉발 쉐바 카이 버튼 수디미 다미바 메발 카이 바 당진바와 되는 쉐바이 여와 메발 토와서 시신지 쉐바 카이 버튼 준주이 노인이 토와 카이 버튼 삼대이 여와 메발 토와 카이 버튼 시럽데 대단히 temban 여와 샤바 시 파르 첨부 죽소바 차와 되는 티버 첨부 냠는 나리야 된 두고요.
And so then in the Mahayana Sutras, it is said that by meditating on the breath in this way, then actually it becomes a practice of the six perfections. So for instance, in connection with mindfulness of the body and realizing 36 impure substances, it becomes the practice of generosity. In connection with mindfulness of feeling, it becomes the practice of ethical discipline. In connection with mindfulness of mind, the Gongta Jimpa, it becomes the paramita of diligence. In connection with mindfulness of phenomena, it becomes in realizing non-self. It is also then the diminishment of self-grasping, and that is the perfection of patience. and in realizing then the ultimate nature or the true nature of reality, this then is something something dang shirap.
Something dirva 태권이 토와. 태권이 ultimate, right? 깨워매봐. 최탐지 깨워매봐 토 시답.
Oh, that's right. So in realizing suchness, it becomes the perfection of meditative concentration, and in realizing the birthless nature or the unborn nature, then it becomes the perfection of wisdom.
근데 도시 티바단나 나디 감보바이나 파모드와지 그런데 신가 수인의 댄댄시를 가다 코알이 캠베 육하조 가르레 시베간 아니 루 우마르 마스베 램바이소 근데 공 소아리고 나서마다 다 로마다 깡마 로마 깡이네 기베 루 남도 루르바 다제는 남도다 저 코알 콘도 거라 안디 판자니 이식 루도 기베네 이식 루디 로양기 규와 남도 규와 체니 자 우면나도 랑신기 내베 룽기 탐마데 다 두고요레 다디 샘중 냠네 조르 룽심 아니 예세 시발의 준주를 숨어도 심승 두슝 마독베 두슝 먹고 지시자 소야 다 대답고 그런데가 밥이고요라.
And so also when Pagmodrupa asked Gampopa, what is really the cause of wandering in samsara, he said it is primarily because the winds, it is due to beings wandering in samsara is due to the winds not having entered the central channel. And so this is also what is in line with what was mentioned earlier regarding, the kind of early texts on the practice of medicine, where because if the winds are primarily or predominantly in moving through the left and right channels, the Rasana and Lalana, then this is connected with or creates or stirs up the movement of discursive thought or mental proliferation, and that is why we wander in samsara, is because of the presence of discursive thoughts and afflictive emotions. So when then one practices in such a way that then there's the pacification of the winds, and together with the pacification of thought, and then primarily the kind of coming forward of the wisdom wind, as a result of this, then the winds eventually enter into the central channel. And so this then brings an end to the mental arisings and so forth. So also, as Shantideva has said, without the practice of guarding the mind, of what use are are many other practices?
다디 냠낸 한다디 치아디 나로 다조 한다디 빠디기 나라 dim chen anapana sati sigdwa ana sebe lungsulunguba pana sebe partawa sati sna temba sudara sna do temba yawa shagota ugmubjung temba yawa do syach ita derge gangyurgi nala zawadi di keba de derge gangyurgi nala ta zawadi derge gangyur shaba nala pe dunji tunyi Dodi Saba, Nalo de actually the Gagarge to art. You don't have the computer. You look at the computer. Gagarge to Arta Bini Shuya Nama Dharma Ba Waraya Perge to turn number nearby sheets of a trick number singing Dinala. That Kamanya Shawashidi Tunguar Dinala. That dinner that temple she was his to descend shampoo she or Tangbudi, Lu temple never shaba, so bo. Never the solar temple never shaba. sumba de sem temple nyaba shawa shiba de chue nyaba chawa shawa shi zawa ki de zen chenpu shi en te da re nangsi ya nangsi shi che kyonde be juju kun to ne en gom nyam ne che da di rubu yore da di nyam ju chi da chi ju nge de ne nima ju ro che nima jik di da ji dan vipassana da la mi ba de gom sem man ne ya ge chi de de che en de ne ma chi nima ju na la ya rimba che di juju sa chi ge yore en tari de de ma 간투투지만 모두 쉬야이 인데 낭든 this.
So the main sutra this is connected in which the practice of using the breath and meditation is taught is this sutra on the mindfulness of breath, or the anapanasati. So anapanasati is a Pali word. Ana means the in-breath or inhalation. Pana means exhalation. Sati means mindfulness. So it's a mindfulness of the inhalation and exhalation, and then sutta is the Pali word for sutra. And then there are also a number of other sutras in the Kangyur that also go into this in great detail. But primarily what this is based on is also the 4 foundations of mindfulness. So the 4 foundations of mindfulness are first, mindfulness of the body, second, mindfulness of sensation or feeling, third, mindfulness of mind, and fourth, mindfulness of dharmas or phenomena. And so they're mainly the 4 main categories, which are these 4 foundations of mindfulness. And then within these 4 foundations of mindfulness, you have 4 categories within each of these, which become 16. And so there are 16 ways of practicing in relation to using the breath, which is also connected with each of the 4 foundations of mindfulness. And generally this is done when His Holiness teaches this, he does it as a 10-day retreat. And so each day there is a focus on a different set of these 16. And he goes through them, step by step, the 16, also then practicing meditation to settle the mind according to the instructions. But here, because it's just a short time that we have together, he's giving us a condensed overview or basic introduction.
다디나 당보디 류기 디르바 참반 예월 샤바 다 류 참반 예월 샤바디 시디나 당보디 내리로 다 사브제도 공부를 당보디 다우 링부 다야지 링부 링잠 지다 남유 아주 우다야레 데즈 링즈지 야다 마다 데삼다야다 이나 서지코라 데데 우링도 묵나 우링도 묵소 냠도 양닥바 치다바 신도 랍 시에서 하코바스다 시신바 시신 뒤슝마도베 소야데로다 시신 구가로 썸마잉바제 우데다네 다 링도 충나 링도 충어 삼바 마치로 치에서나 링부다송 삼바 양탁바 치다와 신디 시신 우담바 주어 마임바 우드 냠보 셈 조거바 다타도 치로 나로 야용송 다타도 치로 마친송 삼바 인제 링잠 남중 되는 니바디나라 데스 통잠 다디 림바간가 당보디 데스 락바 근데 컬리그 차와 그런 로나도 디디 사말로나 저 당보디는 우 링부담베가라 데스 쯔바양 유년 숙체스 당고냐 링드 당고냐 카셰양 스테스 다양 유년 유나 인데 송도 카셰 다양 데스 유나 데스템 마잉바 리바디 데디 우다야 khoda 레토그로 봐 데스 초와다 다다 예버 데스 다 류기 쯔바단 제바 예바치 다들 니바도 우통에 갑라 통 그 랑싱 좀 chung 용 거와 우다데 데스 릴렉스 다 흘러러 저는 우야마 다 통하지 니 다야스도 당보진데 링아 진짜 니바들 통하자야지 근데 지금
So with the first section, which is the mindfulness of the body, first you have within that, the first subsection is breathing in long. So having the inhalation and the exhalation become a long inhalation and exhalation. And as we breathe in, we examine, what the breath as it is outside and then as it moves inside. But primarily we are observing the inhalation, the long inhalation and the long exhalation without becoming distracted by other things. So really staying single-pointedly with the motion of the breath itself, and at first being a longer inhalation and exhalation. And then second is a short inhalation and exhalation. And so it actually goes from this progression with the breath, goes from coarse to more and more subtle. And so with the long exhalation, there are also methods of, say, for instance, applying counting, or for some, they add sound to the inhalation and exhalation, as this becomes a support to then stay with the breath. But as you go into the second, which is the short inhalation and exhalation, then it has already become a little bit more subtle and the body becomes relaxed. There's a relaxation that then comes with the more shallow breath, the shorter breath, as you move deeper into the observation of the breath.
다디 네 마구지 세빈 간규지 나라 아니 두바쳔분 도데 싱예지 도 되게 간규르페 투주레니 쇼알니 갸든주 텐직나 두바쳔분 도데레 싱예지 찬주 셈바 쳔보 아디나 티바 쳔보 숨도와 전집 semba chimbo me gogu ne ugmu bada ugchungwe kyawadan jigba jongsin sosul dokba chedo 대신도 법유콩 뭉차 치자 구주자니 니 법유콩 ne ugmu bada ugchungwe kyawa jigbe 생이로 좀 받은 데를 chedo ngö수다 dana dinan 자나다 류기 탐제는 영화다 류기 뒤지 다들 영내 ugmu 마도면도 십다디 시바도야 티바 챔피언 도든데 단단 존나데 루이기 마구스베 간다 아주 루이기 이공 구스로 그래서 파괴시브나 메니 남전이 나군카나 상대라서 저 사원은 uk다는 되기라서 디마세 루이기 법부되는 제단 몸다 망보다 존나로네 루 용선의 uk고버서 디카세부도 하든다 우 소걸 차시 차산의 uk고바도 또와치야 어딘데 되네 송도.
So then the third stage is breathing in, experiencing the whole body, and breathing out, experiencing the whole body. And there is a sutra in the Kongyur, the Dupa Chenpo Dode, which is a Mahayana sutra, where also this is explained and how the entire body is experienced with the inhalation and the exhalation.
Great Gathering Sudara. Exact, I don't know. Di nalone any ajanda samba wall ma. The di nala lugi any pabupuga samalone pabupuga samalone ungomno digres lu yongzone sa pabupuga. Ani megi ka migla so ba igun sangmanda pabupuga tidam bumda maguna ungomna ngos lu yongsup se sungdo.
So in this sutra, it's mentioned that as you breathe in, experiencing the entire body, that it's even felt in all of the pores of the body, that the inhalation and exhalation are experienced through the pores of the body and through all of the openings. rapture.
Then Chowa Temba Nyawasha Begi Niba Kurim Channel Chuba. The data Dewa Yang Tabar Yongxing Ugumna, Dewa Yang Tabar Yong, Kondo Gawa Komsarava, that Dewa Gomya, Dewa Yang Tabar Yongxing Ugumna, Yang Tabachida, Sheso, Dewa Yang Tabar Yongxing Ukchuna, Dewa Yang Tabar Yongxing Ukchuna, Sheso, that the Dewa, the body girl Sukha, that is Sowe Pumbukum stop. And that the Golia, the Ganjuna said in Duvachimbu do great gatherings in Sudaranala, Condition, Tedar T. Lutamji Shindu Simbata, Dewata, Symbol Kurvani, Penna woman jam, Zamgi, Lula Jigjan, the look at Dewa Yamashino. Te Dani, Dida Wikura Shede, Te Sangsing maybe Gawada, Dewa Teda would never, Yamdu. Sheso, so. Should Dubale, that the should Dubasing at the page to the Guna Guriyama, something than the Professor Wanju Negi. Bali Nari, Hindu Nari, Gala with Guru Lusa. Gawan in Dudjom Drube Kanala or Dewan in Dudjom Druba, the Longs Jube, Dewala or so. Gawe Penun in Jibangan Nagi Nusim Gitibaba or Chibana, Dewa, Dewe Penun in Jibangan Nagi Gubasi or Chibi. So. Yeah.
No, Sumsung
Oh, Demasung, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So now you're Boko.
Oh, yeah. That is that there was the lungs just covered. That there was Niji Sangadoji Tibenala. That day you make Gala, Tanda di Reta. There was Sangadoji Tibenala, then there was near the Tili Tangma, Yorba, Nima Mayimba, Sangye Mayimba, Sangmi Tili Tangmadella, and there was a song.
And so in secret mantra, so there is this experience of bliss in the body is that as sometimes also here before he said it mentioned also that in the Great Gathering Sutra, so it's mentioned that the way that this bliss is experienced or gladness or rapture is kind of like if like a sponge or milk kind of pervading an entire sponge. Like every pore of the to every pore of the body, there is a feeling of rapture that comes kind of at this stage of the meditation. And then we have, in secret mantra, when the bliss is connected with the kind of pure bindu, or drops, so it isn't, the defiled bliss that is experienced with the impure drops, but it is the undefiled bliss that is like experienced with the purity of the bindu.
Shidi Nyondro da Yamle Nal, Tikal Tiba Chenpo Shungyo Mara, the Yin di Nangdo Mambuchi, then Tiba Chishung, Sanga Doji Tiba Chin, Tuguyori, and Sanga Doji Tiba Nal, Tangbu Toma di Ugum Jingi, Lu Tempa Nyawasha Gabdeya, any Sawan Dube, Zogrimgi, any Nyondro, any Dojin Deba, Ahong, Dojin Deba di Jagiori. Jadi kita rasa ahung singnya di kanan dari yo mari ini yigin dene gokde sigdwa dewalang gokba gokde sih di yigin dari yo semgi nalo ahung samyar ini uya yundu gi ya yo ini ma cini dewa dan ledu iga acha ini ma tuh yundu hung je ahung stojin dewa sesang Sound Sangado is there's Ugum Jindra, Ugum Jing, Ahutan Yamne Chigio, that the Jigba, the Judge, near the Donna Shinche, and the issue there, and then this Omaha doesn't ever check the channel to you.
And so these using the breath as the object is generally, again, a practice connected with the common vehicle. So it is also brought into the other vehicles, great vehicle and vehicle of secret mantra. But there isn't in secret mantra the specific breath-related practice that is mainly used is that of the Vajra recitation. So not so much according to the foundations of mindfulness, but for instance in the Guhya Samaja completion stage practice, there is the practice of the Vajra recitation using the syllables Om Ahung together, or the recitation of Om Ahung, but actually the mental recitation. So it isn't that we recite Om Ahung with the mouth, but inwardly we mentally recite Om Ahung together with the breath. So with the in-breath, there's the mental recitation of Om. With the pause at the wind, at the navel, there's the mental recitation of Ah. And with the exhalation, there's the mental recitation of Hung. And so this becomes this same practice, a secret mantra method of the same thing.
Dine ma da sem tempa yavar shakba yorba da sem yavar shakba ki giz ne shine nguishi rabo ji da dina liya dinde chidu gunga wogi gunga wolo sumba jik do jik jikba chansa juru dowa di nalo la ane sem tempa nyawa shaba di tangpo diwa nipa la jik shine le nebar che sebandu tanda dunsu nana shine lakdong geje mindu ina guyung gawo do dina ane dina ma di shugu dina ane chö tempa nyawa shaba dina ma tanda di sem tempa nyawa shaba nipa sumba jina ma ane lakdong le nebar sikra re shiro lakdong le nebar che lakdong le nebar che 말 학동 거면 돼. 당고도 신년 걸어보지. 다르바 신년 삼보마 템포샤서는 아니 먹고 장고로 봐. 다가 식신의 편도요. 다 장고로 먹고 장고로 봐. 자세. 간단 이 욱디 갈이야 파수 미바체 됐어도 마 생자서는 엔데네 수수 냠내 가리는 디가를 샤는 야고도. 예스 남도 망부 축대베 가라. 디가 수수 냠랭가를 전에 코마데브스 야셈 쇼얼친 셈 쇼얼치시고 봐. 이 우디니엘 데스디 야만 로바코라 네저세 유메가나 아니 선마 킹자그로 봐 가디가 때마 때 숙라 밥사소나 엘헐러 차데 템보 데베가나 소소 냠랭 가리는 디가를 봐줘. 야 남도 야 라스는 우디가를 잖아. 우기 샤바디 남도 징보다고 쓰시. 이한테 탑시한테 만다신. 나마다 가서 신내 공백가라 다 디울라 속바 근데 지금 나야 만매라 속바 당게 굴라 속바 근데 구교 마냐니를 주어봐 나마나마 패제다 로동다 먹고 가는 맞아 단대 민나시 셈바 투부대 요 말았을 때 근데 상로 먹고 당게 요 말 흘러 되고 돼 야고 심투고 요사래 다 등사 셈데 고차 근데 미바체스 때 구교 야냐를 주 야만도 친예면은 심마투 붙여지 셈데 구도와 and sawa di Burma gi the Gala chen do the la di sawa sa the sarvet ha me the today the how was it?
So then, So then with mindfulness of mind, that's really when it becomes the actual practice of calm abiding or shamatha, like the main practice. And there is a sutra in discussion with Ananda where the mindfulness of mind is explained or described at length. And this stage, it's described how, as the practice of calm abiding or shamatha becomes more and more refined, that then eventually you have the mindfulness of phenomena, and then through these final stages you have, or here at a certain point, then we have the arising actually of vipassana or insight. But it requires having a very deeply developed level of stability first in the calm abiding practices or shamatha. And it's not something that, actually we talk about the different stages or the explanations are given, but that really the benefit only goes so far. This is really something that has to be experienced directly through dedicated practice. So over a long time training for many years, then eventually one starts to understand, what is really being indicated by this description of these different stages. But we can mainly know that we're using the breath as the object of our focus and meditation. And we're putting our attention on the breath in such a way that it pacifies or calms the ordinary distractions or discursive proliferation of the mind. And then as this is deepened, there comes with it like a deeper and deeper level of physical absorption as well. The body is relaxed. And then in that relaxation of the body, there comes the relaxation of mind. And so when we have thoughts that arise, we come back to the breath. Every time that the mind wanders, we come back. And so the breath becomes like the tether for the mind. So our mind is anchored with the breath, and then this allows for that single-pointed absorption with the object of our meditation and the diminishment of distraction. And in the past, it was much easier. We didn't have so many, there weren't so many practices, in Burma, for instance, when this practice was really flourishing, or in the early days of India, life was a lot simpler. So it maybe, there was maybe a faster progression, but now these days, with so much distraction and so many demands and busyness, then it really requires a really consistent dedication to the practice to experience some real results.
Kondi ugyangu yembe kanadene ma chijedi trebat ta ugyangu mi du trebati sumbumbu chagrwa upata du traya ma yorba telami batias ndo de ugyangu be kanji mi tewa petol leake nenga chembu insa tewa sa umegi ne de yorba seya sanga do di balma ngamo sanga do ti tibe de pe mangu yorso do chisti chama 나 내가 먹고 있어요. 어디 거기 내 맞았더니 뒤에다 사원들에서 내가 대화를 고미하다도 내가도 찍고 차요도 어디서 상말로 대화 이어서도.
And there's also a connection because Lady Sayadaw, the Burmese master, he has a book in which he really emphasizes the benefits of paying attention to the breath primarily with the rising and fall of the abdomen, or the diaphragm, and the navel area. And so this is maybe connected to the secret mantra practice of the Vajra recitation, and also there's the connection and that the side channels, that's the point where the side channels enter the central channel. And in early Burma, in the early days in Burma, actually there was a greater presence, a stronger presence of secret mantra as well. So there could be a connection there. But anyway, it also signifies the importance of this point in the body, the navel area, and there are these connections.
Any Nyingpo Kyapgon Rinpoche Tokumindu Yandana Sajikani, Jil, President Gerab Jixia, Jil Ramnesia, Jigan, Machin and Drikung the Mandro Randro Chasong, I left to me, and then in Yamne Nanya Lama Suyor, Drupun Suyor, Karen Zuyan, the Descom Nana Yambo, Sunan Nyingpo Kyapgon Nana.
And so now we at the end of our time together. So His Holiness will conclude the teachings here, and he's unable to make it in the afternoon because there are a number of consecrations and things that he has to attend to. But did he? Let's maybe. Manis the Mawasuna, and it is the consequence of Ishino, who's the Shabbat Dama, and I think it is maybe like that kind of sushi, kitchen Tamakama, and who's the Shabbat Dama, Simjang, the Lang and Drubata, and Tanzamuli Naraya, the Mama Gushio, Urusuda, Yurkanda, Israel, that the Vagulo, Mama Gushio, Mimangushi, or this Nyambo. Migbada Jevan, the managing debts,
Tene, Tandangas Mende, Kadidana, Chit Mende, Young and Te, Tadopani Namatan, La Chi, Pomonama, Lopon Lama, Sonam La, Tene, Nyingpo, Mende, some tradition. Non suivi, qui compte dans le monde où il y a un Charlie Nangyan Zola, tenez concho chundo nam, tenez mendecharia, tenez dans le monde où il y a Charlie Nangyan dans Zola yang, Kadiche Stigla, tenez ya Jedanda Kadano tenez Chigo, ina yang tati yinuru ke tutu te ko sen nang yiji indu tela yang tenez chia me ina yang Tandati Tuji Chase, Huayin, the Tazo, and the Karma Bazik Sope, Jala Chatanji Yarson, Tuji Chase, Huayin, Tadan Yam to Yan Ronganke, Tenishu to Yarson, on Teletuji Chase, Huayin, Tenizamba Songe, Zambata Hike, Siri Sama, Tadik Nachi, Tenini Nason, Tatuji Chase, Huayin, Tigana Yitat, and the Mixe, Huati. Tanga Jikang Kecho Ponzo de Natokita, Kokap na Teneti Timichong, but Tetuji Chase Huayin, Tagana Yike, Tanda Yachi, Dunga Chichap Hankan Kiyana, Tang, Tagana Yelumikidon Sopa, Chotoka Kalama, Tanga Tatsun, Chanchop Linka Tazo Azor, and Dung Hademede, Tangmake Rokasho Nason Tenita. Ngaso tindije ke harok katone harobaro katone leka leve ke tumdije thongdere tela mixe tu yiche skhyain tega na ji ke kejor taja songe sound system od wom tong changala nikung rube den tu yiche skhyain tene yangjo shya je la karsan nimong shela te Otsering Zonam Nam Re, Tain de Train, Ke Hela, Ke Jina Chatanti, Lume, Tsok, Tenekatan Zeta, Shusim Baratagana Yekita, Chatang, Tene, Desi,
So Drikung Rinpoche was just thanking everybody who is involved in this effort, all of the various efforts that came together to make this event possible, and His Holiness, so thank you to everyone, and His Holiness also said as we recite the dedication prayers that we can specifically, dedicate to the long life of our gurus and to the, also thinking of all of the violence and warfare in the world right now and making aspirations for peace and happiness and the well-being of all by reciting one mani together, the mani mantra.
Samaya manabala Menzazu dinava didra me baba zodakaya me baba zobakaya Radha me baba zarva zidi me barayada zarva kama zuda me zuda jire ankuro ha ho banga Benza mami benza benzre baba ma zamaya zadu benza bume avo je nambara daba wanje seje sai benza rege avo je jare mujje yonso korve uzo hongare jevore ra Shara lupa bo lo zambole no balajo ja Yordu no lupa lora ngaya da ngaya je no do yonde da lamjo Yonde dame nyinda dame nyinje da rumbo je revo bazan je je donje je ba mama baye los Golo Rinpoche, Navo Rinpoche, Zomo Rinpoche, Lumbo Rinpoche, Lambo Rinpoche, Dajo Rinpoche, Mabo Rinpoche, Dere Jembo Pumba, Kipa Ma, Jengwa Ma Lu, Mido Ma, Dopo Ma, Naze Ma, Dija Ma, Nye Ma, Dava Rinpoche, Dojo, Maraje Zenje Bozo Ladame Mazawa Mewa Jinga Nambra Dava Denye Kuji Yengaye Danye Suma Bante Lama Dam Donje Ledu Zene Bona Jangwa Dorje Jan Jembo Kuncho Dinze Kunsan Tile Bezambo Jengane Tekpa Chenpo Kaju Samo Lekpara Tobe Kajin Tanra Ge Yondon Bubra Jivo Doje Drove Dond Jela De Sajibo Joje Medo Sangye, Gala, Kandu, Dela, Derdon, Zumba, Jenre, Zela, Chanze, Lo,
Om Mani Padme Om Se
Cháu chụp cháu chơi mê ta
Oh
Sangye chasan chu sun ju shin le dum chin ju ajing nam na kun do xing san xiam ni du xin ne ba sha ta da so lo bu na zo yi ma cha yin gan be lo de mong ta song xi wa cha yun yi xin de na ba so ba da bu du yi de jo na tu ge gen go ye shi ka go na go lo ma ma zo so wa yan de ran de la de ma de hong be so ba ji be ju lo na ma yi Korean wa da gen je ga ma ji ga yo de xie jie cha yin yi xin sun be go cha yin Dhamma rinya la yaba tuna yishin da wala dhruva na sawa na ya na sakuru su kambaji ta chipsu tensi chidang kambaji chudang yudurang kambaji setak sebaji tarjan lo na mo jen yamche da sawa na ka ingje banda la mo shi ingje shimba fanyi su ka min ju ka su chila song xindang ang su je phung dong na ya ling ju bi shi dama su tu nam ju wu ju ba chilan su da mo mo tarjan the Gyawandi knew the
So that was a short Achi practice transmission, sadhana transmission.
Gendu number tang mema soma hyo na ro na zera ji shue yo Tiendu tene ta tanda Jongmo Yigin Nuru Choke ta long menga Chatong tene ta Nang Simbari tiendu ta tiendu Chido tene Ngato Gom Chuzu Nipana tene Gom Jigaya Yin tiendu ta Zo Tering de la Jenga Rinpoche Zo Chibeke Kembo Dropon Yeshe Mamboji Pemdo, Tadang Hand, Mato Tene, Tachusu, Jake Dang, Jake the Cheka, Tenije, Tene, Yamto, Tana Bomja, Tenije, Yin Tenida, So Karsana, Tatandako, Sarvasarva, Chadi or Tenditini, Chido, Matamala, Tahila, telling the do attend Tella, I hope not on us here in to chair.
So, so this afternoon at 2 o'clock, we will gather again. So please come so that we can practice some of the instructions that His Holiness has kindly given to us. So we have, His Holiness said, even though he himself is not able to make it, that we have a number of Khenpos and Drupans and Geshis who are here, who will lead us in the meditation. So we'll do an hour and a half or so of meditation, coming back here at 2. And also lunch is provided.
Tandati Abchi Longjik Nang Swa Tarang de
this show the Ginduba Sama Shuro Shis, Tanda the Shela di Deran Shushagi.